What a productive species we are, us humans. Each day across our planet, people and machines toil in a myriad of workplaces, large and small, producing a positively dazzling array of goods and products. But in the closing decades of the last millennium, alarm bells began to ring as the thinkers in our midst began to realise that our way of life was flawed. Humankind was travelling down a perilous path, on an unsustainable journey. We were using the resources of our world wantonly and mortgaging the future of our children. Natural resources were diminishing at an alarming rate. Recycling became the catch cry of a generation as all levels of government rushed to embrace a practice that was being demanded by communities worldwide. Now we recycle much of what we produce: paper, glass, metals, plastics. From a struggling infancy, it's now become big business, with recycled commodities traded across the globe. Much remains to be done, but a promising start has been made, and public opinion is firmly behind sustainability. But there's one major area in which recycling has largely failed, until now. MSW, municipal solid waste, is still produced by the millions of tonnes every day, right across our world, and buried in landfill tips or bulldozed into huge mounds where it becomes a breeding ground for flies, a polluter of groundwater, and a generator of greenhouse gases. Many schemes have been tried to stop society choking on its own waste, but none has won widespread acceptance. And experts continue to deplore the missed opportunity that committing this refuse to landfill represents. In the mid-1980s, when the hue and cry over recycling was reaching fever pitch, a tannery owner in provincial Australia was becoming interested in the challenges of turning municipal solid waste into the valuable resource he believed it could be. At first, David Murphy thought worms might be the answer. He sold his business and devoted himself to learning the intricacies of converting organic wastes to compost for the purpose of rebuilding fertility in degraded agricultural soils. So expert did he become that he wrote a book on worms which quickly became a bestseller on the non-fiction list. But worms weren't the answer. They lacked the ability to convert MSW into compost in sufficient volume. So David turned his attention to aerobic composting by the open windrow method, attracted by the fact that it offered reliability and highest volumes at lowest cost. Until then, composting MSW had not been successful, so David set about investigating the reasons for these previous failures. The result of his intensive research was the development of the Murphy Compostmaker Mark I. When this remarkable machine arrived on the scene in 1993, it made heads turn throughout the waste management industry. At its heart was a composting chamber protected by worldwide patents that could process fresh, unsorted MSW at a rate of 600 metric tonnes an hour and turn it into high-grade compost which meets the parameters of Australian Standard 4454. The composting technology also destroyed all pathogens and seed fertility during the first 7 days of processing. A further 12 months research and development culminated in the release of the Murphy Compostmaker Mark II. Self-propelled and with refinements to the composting chamber that resulted in increased production rates with no loss in efficiency, the Mark II composter could process over 2,000 metric tonnes of fresh MSW per hour. The world had a machine that could start to reclaim the millions upon millions of tonnes of MSW and turn it into a valuable product. These include animal manures, wool scour waste, tannery waste, fruit and vegetable waste and green waste. Combinations of these with sewage sludge have also been composted. There are two major benefits in adding compost to soils. The first is the vegetative matter. This substantially increases the soil's ability to absorb and hold moisture and also support a higher population of soil benevolent bacteria. These bacteria, in turn, produce enzymes which release elements necessary for strong plant growth and to promote resistance to pests and disease. The portability and range of applications of compost can be increased significantly by the manufacture of compost tea. Chinese agriculturalists have long understood the benefits of liquefying compost, often producing astounding outputs from small plots. The compost tea is produced by soaking compost in pure chemical-free water and involves the transportation of bacteria and soluble minerals from the compost into the water solution. The bacterial population can be enhanced from levels of 1 million per gram of solution to 100 million per gram and higher. Applied as a foliar spray 4 times over the life of a crop, this high bacterial solution acts as a pest and disease suppressant as well as a significant growth stimulant. The compost used in making the tea can still be productively applied to the soil. We are on the verge of a remarkable victory in humankind's quest for a sustainable future, a victory over what to do with the mounting piles of municipal garbage. David Murphy's research and his mechanised composting prototypes are the key to turning this presently wasted resource into a prized product. Aerobic composting is the means of recycling surplus organic resources back to the soil to stimulate a naturally renewable fertility. The Murphy accelerated composting system is the most efficient, least costly and most reliable way to make this happen.
Waste generated from agriculture and horticulture, such as is found in vegetable wholesale markets, cash crop plantations, livestock farming, are all organic. The more common ways of dealing with this waste is by indiscriminate dumping and open burning. These methods are a significant source of pollution and contributor to global warming. Aerobic Biotech Corporation offers a unique and highly efficient technology that can convert all organic waste into useful compost. Waste is converted to fertile growth media. DOBAS fermentation technology converts organic waste into compost in large commercial quantities in less than 2 weeks at a fraction of the cost of other technologies. At ABC's Singapore plant, horticultural waste like leaves, grass, tree clippings, branches is converted to compost in just 2 weeks. And ABC can make any organic waste into compost. While the organic waste may change, the process remains largely the same and follows these stages. Waste is sent to the composting plant by various contractors. It's first weighed and then unloaded at the shredding area, where it's shredded into fine particles so that everything can be thoroughly and quickly mixed and the final compost has an even balance of elements. Then the shredded waste is transported to the composting area, where it's arranged into rows for conversion by the DOBAS fermentation process. This is carried out by the Murphy Compostmaker machine, which passes through the rows once a day for 2 weeks, aerating, mixing and fluffing the material to produce a rich, sweet-smelling, chocolate-coloured compost. Notice the steam rising from the rows. This is a result of heat generated by very large populations of naturally occurring microbes in the DOBAS fermentation process. Temperatures will reach above 57 degrees Celsius, and this is your guarantee that all weed seed, harmful bacteria and pests are destroyed. When the compost is ready to be harvested, it is screened for classification into 3 grades, fine, medium and coarse, and is now ready to be delivered. This can be in handy 15-litre bags, half-tonne jumbo bags, or in bulk. Turn your organic waste into an asset through DOBAS, Fermentation and ABC. Aerobic Biotech Corporation is your partner in turning your waste into a very useful and profit-making resource.